We have a segment, Fantasy One-on-One. So you have to answer 2 questions. How will this guy fare against you in a fight? Number 1, under old UFC rules, and number 2, under the unified MMA rules. So I'm going to mention names of fighters from past and present. So tell me when you're ready.
Okay. I mean, hopefully they're popular guys that I know, like so.
Of course they are. Of course. Okay. The first guy, Hoist Gracie.
Knowing what I know now?
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now or back then?
Down? Now, how is it going to go down? Like under old UFC rules.
At my age now, and him at his age.
Maybe in your prime.
In my prime, Well, see, I'm more naive back then too. I don't know. I'm not as bad. I might be older, but you got to take that into account. How's it going to go down? Well, I wouldn't just try to shoot and take him down right away.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably try to stay on my feet and strike first. So I don't know. I mean, it's a puncher's chance for everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I did wrestling though. If he tried to take me down, I would have a much better chance of takedown defense. I don't do a whole lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I can counter when I'm being taken down. It's very hard to take me down. And when you do take me down, I can get out of it. I'm not saying I can finish you, but I can make it so you don't finish me.
If it's under the current UFC rule set or the unified MMA rules, how do you think it will go down?
I don't want to talk shit on Gracie's. Who's going to do that? That's like putting your foot in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd at least have 50-50 chance. That's probably going to be my answer most of the time.
So you're telling me that you prefer the unified MMA rules?
No, I prefer the old school rules. I think I have a much better chance to be.
Okay. Now, second guy. Chuck Liddell, the former UFC light heavyweight champion.
I would not stay within his strikes per se. I would definitely get closer to him. I specialize because I specialize in the clinch. I want to be in the clinch. I'll strike if I have to, but I would try to get him near the fence and use what I know to defeat him from there. If I could get him near the fence to do what I like to do, I would have a strong chance. If I just trade blows with the guys, well, hey, what does trading mean? Trade means you're going to eat some too. So I would say if I could get him near the fence, I could do what I want to do.
Okay. Third guy, George St-Pierre.
Wow. Yeah, I know him from Canada.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He's
the
really
division UFC
guy.
champion.
Yeah, he's a really well-rounded guy. I can tell you what my theory is. I would definitely try to surprise him. And if I wanted to be cocky, I think I could catch him. Right? But if I made a mistake, he'll catch me, It's it's the same thing, I will never just come out and say, oh, I got that guy. You know what I mean? But I know in my head how I would try to set that up and try to catch him. And if I do, then because I think I'm heavier than him, I'll use my size on him,
Can you say that he's the greatest of all? I mean, to
George
ever do
St-Pierre?
it in mixed, in MMA.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He's right up there. There's so many guys I like, but I want you guys to notice something about the way MMA has evolved. Okay, real quick, if I could just say this, everybody back then, there were some people that are good at ground, some people are not, right? The evolution now is everybody's got a pretty well-rounded grappling. If you look at most fights, if guys don't want to engage on the ground, most of them can escape and get to a standing position or are pretty good at it, where they can spend less energy and be stand-up fighters. So you look at most of the fights, a lot of guys would rather finish striking before they would in submissions, because it's just less taxing on the body. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but you know.
Okay. Fourth and last fighter, Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor, yeah.
Under the old UFC rules.
Yeah. I'm heavier than him. I would definitely, huh?
How heavy?
Well, right now I'm 200. I don't think he's 200.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I would definitely, I don't want to trade, like the same thing. I don't want to trade with him. A lot of people underestimate how a grappler can really lower his level and shoot. I would try to get him once again near the fence. And, it's been under discussion now, guys, suplexing guys, whether that's allowed before. But when I was in wrestling, and I've done this before in street fights. I've done it in 2 street fights, one of them where there was 3-on-1 against me. And I won. I got out of it. I beat those guys because the first guy that came near me, I scooped him and suplexed him on his damn head. And that's a fight ender right there. You know what I mean? He's lighter than me. I'd get him to a position where I would just try to slam him on his head.
So that applies also under new or the standard right now used by the UFC.
Yeah. Filipino martial arts has ways to do that. You know what I mean? We call that, sentado, like how sitting down, you know what I mean? There are a couple things, that I know I could show modern MMA guys, but if I showed it to them, everybody would be doing it. I'm not saying I have a deadly secret, but what we were talking about earlier, how many new moves have come out over the last 20 years, right? These guys have developed this. These guys have developed that, right? So everybody's got that, right? So to think that it's all been thought of, that there's nothing new that's going to be developed, that's bullshit. You know that, right?
Thank you, Sifu, for your time. We really appreciate it to be here, to be with you, to interview you on the hit list. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Onassis Parungao.
Thank you very much, everybody. Respect.
Palong-palo, para nasa paka sa mukha ha. Silipin at sulitin ang galaw at ang baraha. Ingat sa binabangga, baka masagasa. Marami nakaharaw, makitid ang daan. Tahimik lang tahimik at mainit ang kalsada.